This will be it for the day, but this is sort of to put a finer point on it or put a cap on it. I probably should have included it in the last video, and it just came to me, and I thought I better put that in. Okay, and that has to do with when I was talking about the acceleration of the rate of change, how people are going to react to it. Okay, and I'll give you an example just how I perceive the cosmos that I live in. Now, if you remember on previous videos, I talked about what I call a frame rate speed. Okay? When you're vibrating, like the way that I do, which is like off the chart, because I love to go fast. The faster the speed that I'm experiencing, being what it is that I'm experiencing, what it is that I am experiencing through my creative imagination, the images, if you will, in my mind of the colors and the shapes in which it is formed, it's like one frame after another is moving so fast, I've already forgot the one that just appeared before the next one comes about. Okay? When you don't live in fear of the cosmos that you live in, and instead those images are based on the energy that you're experiencing, which is who you are at the moment in which those images appear, which is moving at such a high rate of speed, fear doesn't even enter into it. Okay? What you're experiencing is the energy that is creating or manifesting what that is that you're experiencing in color, form, and shape. Okay? That means you pretty much got used to the idea that the rate of change that takes place within my mind, within my projector, I call my projector, my holographic projector, runs at such a high state of speed. Okay? I expect change. I expect change to take place at a very high rate of speed. So I don't fear what's next, which is different from the last. Because what doesn't hold my projection system captive is fear. So I don't fear change. And the reason for that is what we call an open mind, which is an open projector, which means you can perceive everything that is possible that is out there to experience. And when you want to experience everything that is possible with your own creative imagination, then what do you think happens? You thrive on the differences, the diversity of the cosmos. You can't wait to meet somebody who's new you've never met before. You can't wait to run into another artist who has something else to create and imagine that you're not imagining. Wow, look what you came up with. Cool. Because the energy that you're experiencing is running at such a high rate of speed. It's like being in a super state of joy. It's like being an energy junkie of the universe. It's like being a source junkie, okay? You got so much love in your heart, you're running on so much light with so much fire in that furnace. I mean, the speed at which these images in your imagination is accelerating is off the charts, okay? Now, I understand that people don't experience their projector in their mind like a third eye, if you will, the way that a lot of us do. Okay? And the reason for that is they're held captive to another holographic universe that they believe that they live in, which is based on what? What they recorded. So, for example, if you spent your whole life from childhood immersing your consciousness into everything they put in newspapers and their movies and all their news network, in other words, the carnival barkers. Remember the carnival barkers? Hey, I got this to sell you. Hey, I got this to sell you. Come on over here. Buy this, buy that, buy this. And then all their Madison Avenue. Ever since I was a little kid, every time a commercial came on, I walked away from the TV or I turned it off or switched the channel. Okay? I'm not interested in your shit. Okay? You already understand where they're coming from. They're taking stuff from the girl on the planet, reselling it to you, getting you to be an energy slave to give them back the same money of the stuff they stole from her to sell back to you. That's called a recycling center for parasitic consciousness. That's what it is. So what happens is if you don't know a different reality than that, because you're running the program that they gave you, that you wrote into your memory, into your unconscious mind, and that's the program that you're running, then imagine that all of a sudden you realize that that movie you've been running, the reality that you believe is true, that you experience every day in your memory, that kickstarts how you interact and react to the reality that you're in, is the program you've learned to accept as the life that you live. You don't want that reality to change, even though it's parasitic, because it's the one you've learned to become comfortable with and survive in. Okay? However you can, based on the way you were taught and trained as a human resource unit in their schools, rather than the teacher in the classroom. That's what it boils down to, or wherever else you came from, and then landed in here. So that's why as events accelerate over time, that means you're going to be experiencing things you've never experienced before, in a way in which you're going to begin to realize my reality is changing at a very accelerated rate of speed. Yeah, that's going to scare a lot of people, isn't it? So here's sort of not the flip side, but the real side of that is if they're already in a state of fear, what is that going to do? It's going to increase the rate of fear, isn't it? Unless they understand why these things are happening, which is to actually liberate the reality that they were once in, that was feeding on them as a source of food and energy, in which case these accelerating events is to liberate their energy so that they're free to be who they are, which means you're autonomous. You don't have to worry about impressing anybody, putting a mask on, having the most expensive car, the most expensive dress, and everything else that gets projected to everybody else that says, listen, I was a bigger parasite than you are. Look at all the wardrobe I got. Look how many cars I own. Look how many yachts I have. Look how much property I own. Okay? Because it was always about competition. Because you want to be accepted by your peers. Because you don't want to live in any conflict or harmony, right? You want to be, but you realize that you live in a shark tank. So in order for you to be able to survive, so you're not living in any fear of running out of energy, you got to be a parasite just like them so you get enough to be able to survive on. When the girl was already giving you everything you need. So when you already have in your heart everything that you need because you're running a high-speed vibration, it allows you to be able to see the difference between the reality that you run and the one they run. That's why I hang out with the girl on the planet. You know what I mean? She gives us everything we need. That's why we live in the trees. That's why we live in nature. We hang out with her. The birds and the bees. All the living spirit that's in nature, whether it's a bear, whether it's an eagle or whatever. It's one of the reasons I wanted to go over to where one of the biggest fires in the state of California is gone. Not just all the trauma that all my fellow firefighters have been through, because I used to do that work. But there's a lot of, I looked at a map the other day to see exactly where one of the biggest fires was, which is called the August Complex Fire. It's over 1 million acres. That's bear country up there. That's my clan. So that means that I know and I can cry like a baby. What happened to all those bears? All the deer that's in there. All the chipmunks that are in there. So I got to get over there and spread as much light, much love as I can. Go see how those bears are doing. There's a place the fire was burning not too far from Happy Camp. When I saw that on a map, I just cried. That's got one of the highest black bear populations in all of North America. Okay? So all I kept picturing is how many bears did we lose? So anyway, that's the direction I'm headed. Spread as much love and light as I can to bear country up there. That's my clan, White Bear Clan. Bear spirit. Bears live with love in their heart. That's why their mothers defend and protect their children with an enormous amount of energy. So anyway, I thought I'd provide that context because it's important, okay? Because things are going to change at a very high rate of speed. Particularly not just the next 30 days, as I mentioned to somebody else. I do them in 30-day, 60-day, 90-day increments. But particularly by Christmas. Okay? So buckle up. It's just like going to Disneyland. Enjoy the ride. We're going home. Have a great ride. Love you all. Take care.